Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 58 of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time, we discovered that Sherlock was not shot, and rather just he was burnt by some chemicals that he carries on his person after the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun hit his satchel. And then we basically proceeded to accuse Eggert Benedict of being the real murderer because, well, he's a third accomplice. His blood was found at the crime scene. It was on in the disc. And now we are trying to convince the court to let us take him in. But Barack and Zieks is trying to oppose us. But we have the summation examination on our side.
Good grief! What did you say, young girl?
And in the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it?
I am screwed! I am tired of this! No! Jurors, you are not going to do this to me! You are not going to keep this freaking kangaroo court in session! I refuse!
And what's wrong with my voice today? I'm sorry, just my throat feels off today.
So, the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention, certain other people who try to commit copyright infringement on me. At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind. I'm scared.
Little does that judge know just how deep that rabbit hole goes. Little does he know that Iris controls his pay as well. Iris controls all of London. It just varies on how much you know it.
It really just comes down to one thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm convinced by what you say, Bruno. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something?
Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Don't mess with Iris. She will destroy you. She will freaking take you down. Like I said, I would not be surprised if basically modern day Ace Attorney, basically in the timeline of the main games, just Iris is this 100-plus-year-old spry old lady, and she's controlling all of London. She's basically this mob queen. She controls all of England, just through the shadowy underworld, and basically just gives Kristoff handouts and advice.
Iris Risen, sharpshooter.
After that shrewd précis of the situation from an entirely unexpected source that scares me, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings on this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
I like how the old guy is always hell-bent on giving people a guilty verdict.
2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage! Why does this happen in my court every time? The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? On the grounds it's bad for my case! If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt.
And then Kristoff, he reads from the history books. He reads the accounts of Van Zieks, and he's like, yes, this is a man who we must be respecting. Just 100 years later, just Phoenix is bringing out the juror system, using it to take down Kristoff, and Van Zieks is just glaring at Phoenix from the afterlife. He's just glaring. He's just smashing wine glass after wine glass in the afterlife. And then Maya, she's looking at just the footage after the trial.
Nick?
Yeah, Maya?
There's this weird vampire ghost man who's glaring at you in this picture and who's smashing wine glasses.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. The trial will continue. Ah!
I like how Van Zieks just goes so gentlemanly with his breakdown. He doesn't have just some full-out hissy fit breakdown like you see from a lot of prosecutors, or just something over dramatic. No, it's just like subtle flinching, and it's just this theatrical flinch.
The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible.
What?
The name of the gentleman gave for himself, Eggert Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it. How can you say that? This is the Ace Attorney universe. Really? There are plenty of names out there that basically you would not believe. Furio Tigre? Luke Atme? Friggin' Chelly the Killer going as John Doe and that being a very acceptable persona? Max Galactica? Heck, they go with the stage names of Troop Gramahe with relative ease, treating that as a matter of fact. Just when I'd managed to prove... Oh, bad guy from... who's referencing Apollo Justice, basically that one master. Bad guy. His name is quite literally Bad Guy. Just when I managed to prove the man was there that night. Could I say something?
Who was that, please? Who spoke?
It was me, my lord. Juror number 5.
Whatever you say, madam.
Impossible! Inspector! Hey, Mom? I wonder if you might be able to show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown. Ah, right, yes. This one, you mean? Oh, Mr. Benedict? Yes, there's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man? Yes, I know him. What?
No! Good gracious! Order! Juror number 5, how on earth?
I am a communications officer, stop! As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is stop. Also a communications officer, stop. He walks in my office, stop. A very talented operator, in fact, stop. He should be in the communication station now, stop. Tapping away on the telegraph, stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right.
I suppose we all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night.
Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zieks, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. Now if you'll excuse me, I am going to contemplate swan diving into the street. The court will now recess for an hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson. Inspector Sulky. Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well. Court is now adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
Okay, gavel slam. To be continued. Yeah, really. I could have ended this off last episode. I could have done this section last episode if I didn't know, basically, that we wouldn't be doing another round of summation examination. But frankly, I wanted to be on the safe side. Anyways, let's get a move on. 17th of April, 12:41 p.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. Ah, Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now.
Timmy! Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything?
What's the point, eh? Why go through all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me?
What?
I'm sorry. Why is one of my voices today? Well, you saw it, that picture. What picture?
Ah! You mean this? The person to go take my Hurley's red-handed recorder. Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure.
It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they? Well, I wouldn't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you've gotta have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. Of course I can.
Tinny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night.
Eh?
Bruno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you.
All right then. It was after we had that dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yes, I remember. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. Wow. Okay, hold the phone. We're actually knocking a flashback to the conversation. We're knocking a flashback to what that conversation was. Thank you, game. Thank you. So I slipped out and went down the street to the 2-1 to Winterbank's place. I had to know if Iris' story was there or not. The ounce of the baked Ascusvilles. I don't know what it's about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in it that Sholmes don't like. Something what he don't want people reading. So that's why he lied to Iris about sticking it in lug with Winterbank for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Winterbank's. I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all that was going to kick off, did I? I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you like in there. So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of wick. And that's when...
What do you think you're doing? Ah!
I nearly died. I did. And next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like I don't know what.
Oh, you're the girl who was here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets weigh in for armed robbery.
The manuscript. Have you got it here?
Did Sholmes leave a load of paper?
Did Sholmes leave a load of paper with you? A story?
I beg your pardon?
The hound or the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it.
I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers.
And then Sholmes is like, yes, good job, Winterbank. Good job. This is why I leave my stuff with you. I don't want it. What would I do with it anyways? I just want to see if it's here. That's all.
Oh, you want to see it, do you?
I want to know if Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go.
Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you?
And then she puts the gun down, and then Winterbank picks up. Ha, sucker!
See you on the other side!
Boom, just Winterbank takes himself out. So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door, and we both went inside. And it was there, all right, the manuscript. Sholmes weren't lying after all.
You did all that just to check for me, Ginny?
Anyways, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop. The Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes? What was that noise? Someone breaking in?
Dear me, is there some burglar convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry.
I'd better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, well, I'll come with you, Ed.
Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances.
And with that, he took the gun out of me hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining me ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see? So I was just about to go out the storeroom myself when... I had a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And next, there he was. Feet right at me feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like. Because you thought whoever shot Mr. Winterbank might come for you? Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Winterbank was a goner. I felt funny in me head all of a sudden, kinda dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. That must be when you passed out, Gina. If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old cove might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was if you keep telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me.
You'll be alright, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno's about to put the real culprit to the mill. And then I'm going to put him to an actual mill.
That cove what was there in the afternoon? That Eggert Benedict. I still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing. He was there that night. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyways, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what?
You can leave it all in Bruno's capable hands now, Ginny. His semi-capable hands.
Mr. Naruto. Yes? How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGill did. We told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bog trotter off with him, even though he was a killer. No, I could never forget that. Oh? I did what I thought was best at the time, but the pain of the error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? You could be walking to get another killer off the hook for all you know. I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it was me who'd done it.
Oh, Bruno!
But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Why is it that I only get these weird dramatic cuts nowadays? Rinosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. After all, I have anime powers and gravity-defying headbands. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me and I'll do the rest. I was so happy, I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. even though I'm a diver and a no-good lawyer. You're not like McGilded. I know that. You don't have a big purple top hat.
Eh? That's right, you're our friend, Ginny. Iris.
We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Yes,
That's really all we need to know.
exactly.
Mr. Nara Odo, I... Defendant Gina destroyed her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please enter the courtroom immediately. I love how this is an hour. This is literally an hour Ace Attorney time. This discussion went on for an hour. Yes, of course, thank you. I'd been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time. So I knew only too well just how hard it was. Put all your faith in it. And I like how Sherlock gets shoved off to the side. Oh yeah, because it wasn't like Sherlock was giving Ryunosuke any sort of belief during his whole thing on the SS Borea. Here Susato is even doubting him, but meanwhile Sherlock is actually helping out. Sherlock is helping to prove Ryunosuke's innocence. He was believing in Ryunosuke when things were getting rough, but then just Ryunosuke just, nope, sorry Holmes, you're not worthy. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, this is embarrassing. I have been spelling Ryunosuke's name wrong. I have been spelling it with 2 U's. How did I not notice this until just now? I've been spelling it Ryuuonosuke. I swear. Ryunosuke. Yeah, I've been spelling it Ryunosuke. I swear. What is wrong with me? I swear I'm gonna have to change. No, I'm not changing the descriptions. I'm not changing the descriptions of the videos. No, that spelling error is going to become part of the legacy. It's like when I misspelled guacamole. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another, putting all their faith in you. This is it at last. The final chapter, the final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner. Loading. 17th of April, 1:41 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom.
I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Zieks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Then let's return our attention to Inspector Gregson's pursuit of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of this third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector.
Yes, I can only apologize, my lord.
Skulky, you disappoint us. And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
I swear, Iris is coming off more and more like a mob queen with every dialogue line. I swear, that judge is going to be found in the Thames, just when it's in concrete boots. Friggin', you cross Iris, she'll basically make it where they won't be able to recognize your body. My lord, the subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building.
Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay.
Mr. Eggert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon, and certainly not like this.
Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir.
But of course, my lord. As an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige. What was that, oblige?
Now, kindly say your name and occupation for the record.
Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer.
Mr. Gray and I both work at London's Central Communication Station.
Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about.
You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume.
Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at the Brokers on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question.
That is the accusation, indeed.
This really is beyond a joke, you know.
You're telling me you think I want this? I don't want this. The defense attorney wants it. Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Gladly, my lord, gladly. Witness testimony. The accusation. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting that I concluded this? Damn it, CzarThwomp! You are flubbing my lines like Samugi. Who am I, Samugi? But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such outrageous accusations. Even if certain parties present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some sacrament detectives' homebrew tincture can only be taken as serious evidence.
So, you deny the accusation completely, do you?
I must say, I'm dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by the self-professed detective's toy.
It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Oh, really, I like the cut of your jib. After this trial, would you care to share a glass of wine with me? I would very well like to discuss philosophy with you.
Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here?
If following the detective's defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately.
Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation, at least.
Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination.
Oui, I am not suspicious in any way. After all, I share a team with Magnus Mikided. So, we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies, you are Ryunosuke Naruto, defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so, Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So, have a hat. At first, we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do it. Oh, really? Would you rather have coffee to your face or a toupee, Ryunosuke? Because I think Phoenix, in the later years of Phoenix's career, he would have taken the hat. No arguments. That or Graydon was trying to basically do a Mario Odyssey. He was trying to throw his cap on Ryunosuke's head to take over his body and control him. The accusation. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. Oh. Sorry. I believe that we have to... Okay, let me just look through. Okay, I know for a fact that... I think it's one of these. I think it's this one. Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals. Said by a man who introduced himself as Eggert Benedict. I'd like to know who I had to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me?
The young lawyer there in the black.
This is a farce! Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in the British courts anyways? Well, needless to say,
Hold it!
okay, let's press. Where were you at around 1 in the morning on the night question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rascalions. I would have been out searching for louvers. They are not louver material. You're able to prove that? Look at them, look at me. Do I look like I would associate?
Listen carefully, my Lord Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point.
What do you mean?
The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove the assertion. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness.
A silent victory wiggle. Thank you.
Hold it!
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I am not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate different... Spare me the science lecture! Who is this Sholmes character anyways? And would he be an optimum louver? I'm willing to go with anyone if they are an optimum louver. Oh, I assumed all of London would know the name. He's a renowned detective. Ryunosuke can't even bring himself to say great detective. He can't.
So even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective.
A great detective, you say? Now we are in the realm of fairy tales, are we? Okay, pursue.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin?
What, me?
No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you. Right! I'm right up to here with this. How many times have I got to tell you? Oh, so you're admitting that you're sulky. Yes, I know. You're not big, buff, sulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin. Hey, go blimey, Governor! Go blimey, Governor! You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the court? Me thoughts? I don't have nothing on it. It must have been him.
You what?
Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Nothing, honest, Gov, nothing. I was just thinking. If he waves his arms around that much more, it'll open up the wound again, that's all. What wound? Well, he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. It ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, I was worrying for him, man. Oh, El's bells! Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord.
Yes, Mr. Graydon?
I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I should be expected to answer everything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. Perhaps you would allow the court official to examine your arm, sir. the left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand, as if in pain.
No, I refuse.
You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. So, accordingly, I am not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all of this. I have never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense to this insinuation that I was in any way involved.
You claim to have nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Windibake's pawnbrokery?
My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony.
Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon.
The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. Okay, let's present the music box disc.
Objection.
Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? We'll answer that question in the next episode. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.